Welcome. Welcome, chat. Welcome, YouTube, to my TED Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about Overwatch and why I think you should probably play it. Maybe again, maybe for the first time. Here's the agenda for today. So we're going to be going over like a super quick obligatory what even is Overwatch. There's videos that go more in depth on it and like are way better educational and like material things. They have great editing. This is not that video. You can go, I'll probably link one down in the description when I post this. We're going to talk about the history of the game. It's going to be really, really fast because I want to get to what I think you should do about it. We're gonna talk about why I left the game, because I did at one point. I completely uninstalled it. I'm obviously back now and have been for a minute. And the question to you, dear audience, is should you start playing it for the first time and or come back to the game? So, what even is Overwatch? It was a 6v6 team hero shooter. Now it's a 5v5. It is a player versus player team-based hero shooter. So you're not going to be playing by yourself. And the hero shooter aspect means that you're not just using like an AK-47. You are playing like a person who has different abilities or different things that distinguish them from the other characters on the roster. Roughly, it's as if Call of Duty and League of Legends had a horrible baby. And now we have Overwatch. There's a lot of videos that go more into depth on like the game theory behind the game, like the development history of it, some of the philosophies behind it, like game designers talk about it. I'm not any of those things. This is just so that you have some background info in case you're interested in Overwatch. And for some reason, I'm the first video that came up. The history of the game, I'm going to break it down into three main eras because this is my video and I think it's digestible in threes. So we have the first era of Overwatch, which is Overwatch 1. That's all the way on the left-hand side. It's important because it is how we got to where we are, but it's not super important to the discussion because I want to talk about if you should play it today. And there's no way to play the old Overwatch 1 version of the game. That game was not free to play. You had to pay, it was about $20 to get a copy of the game, and then you could play that game. So everyone in there, I call it the theme park model, where you paid your ticket to get in, and then once you were in, you could ride all the rides. It was a theme park model. The skins were not really paid for. There were loot boxes. It was a whole thing. That's the game that built the core community and the really vocal community around the game, because it was kind of like the Pixar of video games, Blizzard, making a hero shooter, and like just really, there were some other games that fit that theme on the market, but this one really defined it and pushed all of the other competition out of the market. So that's the game that I fell in love with as well. That was a 6v6 version, and I started playing a little bit before Roll Q, and then Roll Q happened. We'll talk about that later, but for those that are in the know, that's about when I started. Then the second era I would define as the launch of Overwatch 2. This was kind of the dark ages of Overwatch. There were a lot of promises, and I don't think any of them were either delivered or lived up to expectations. So in late 2019, the developers said that they were going to stop putting development efforts into Overwatch 1 and they were going to be focusing almost entirely on Overwatch 2. So we didn't get any new heroes. We didn't get any major balance changes. We didn't get any new maps. The game stopped being a live service functionally. And remember, this was still under the theme park model. And then in late 2022, they launched Overwatch 2 as early access. Now, they changed it from 6v6 to 5v5. They moved over to a new engine that was supposedly to support their PvE version of the game that was going to be inside of it. That was the whole reason they were calling it Overwatch 2. And it just really fell flat. Again, there's a lot of videos both from that time and a little bit more recently that talk about the drama around Overwatch 2, but that's the second era that I'll kind of distinguish. That felt really bad for me. That was a time that I really didn't like the game, so I completely uninstalled it. The only way to play Overwatch on PC at the time was through the Blizzard Battle.net launcher, the Activision Blizzard Battle.net launcher, and I completely uninstalled both. So I had no way to play the game for a minute. Then the third era of Overwatch is what I'd call like modern Overwatch, or like Overwatch today. So I came back not super recently, but I reinstalled the game at least over a year ago when it launched on Steam. And I've been really enjoying the direction that the game has been moving. I think that there's some real competition in its market niche with Overwatch Rivals. We're not going to be discussing any of the current turbulence that game is going through, but it exists and it's a competitor and a lot of people are playing it. But there's also other good games on the market that people want to spend their time playing, so they're not defaulting back to their comfort games like Overwatch or Fortnite and kind of having some of that resentment build up. I think that the developers have moved into a good content era. We're getting characters that I think are launching pretty okay, if not in like a good state. They're not super game breaking. We're getting new maps that I think are, for the most part, good additions. We're getting game modes, which are a little contentious, but again, are pretty solid additions. The content that's coming out is good content, where in that Overwatch 2 launch window, a lot of the content that they were producing was not satisfying a lot of people, me included. They have a new game mode that's not just like a new match style like when Push came out. It's called Stadium, and it completely turns the game on its head. It makes it more like a MOBA, a multiplayer online battle arena, so like League or Dota or Deadlock, where you're purchasing items in between rounds and the rounds are a lot faster. It's genuinely a big change to the game. I think the developers have found a good pacing to being able to deliver content and deliver all those things for us. And I think that the public-facing side of the development team has really figured out its stride. I think that it's not overly like PR, plastic surgery. Like I think that it's a pretty organic side of the development team, but they're being given more room to give Overwatch a good face. The chats from the director of the game and other like lead balancers and lead systems designers, like being able to interact with the community and interact with the public at large, I think it's been really good. So I think that those are the three main eras of Overwatch, and you'll see that I talked about today's Overwatch in a pretty good light. So with that being said, I did leave the game for a minute, completely uninstalled it. I published some videos, and I think I talked about it on stream. I definitely talked about it in my friend Discord server about why I completely stopped playing the game. But the main points of why I stopped playing were that I no longer trusted the vision of the leadership, the direction that they said they wanted to go. I didn't like that direction. I lost faith in the development team's ability to even execute on that vision, which is like double bad. I don't like the direction we're going, and I think we're gonna suck at going there. So that sucked. There were a lot of issues with both of the competitive, like ranked game mode and the like Overwatch League pro competitive scene and like amateur, like that entire side. So we have the inside the game competitive for me to play, and the outside of the game, like professional level competitive. They both had a lot of issues at the time that I left. There were a lot of broken promises. The big one, the like face of it, being that they were no longer going to be publishing their PvE, player versus enemy, so like their story missions, which I was really looking forward to, because that was maybe going to be a way for me to get my fiance to start playing Overwatch with me. And if I could get her foot in the door there, she might even start playing the regular PvP with me, which I really was looking forward to. And without that kind of introductory, lower stakes, lower friction version of the game, I'm not sure that I can get her to try this game out, which is totally fine. Not every game is for everyone. but I was really looking forward to that. And then just generally, the game was in a bad state. Its public image was really not good. The community was really pissed. Just a lot of bad vibes all around and a lot of hurt feelings, including mine. My feelings were very hurt. So I dipped. But I'm back, and I'm streaming the game a lot more since I graduated college, and I'm having a lot of fun again. There was a section there, even when I was still in college, finishing up my degree, I had some more free time, and I could stream a little bit more. And I was streaming the game, but I wasn't having as much fun with the game as I'm having now. And I'm deep in my 9 to 5. I've been there for almost 2 years now, so I just haven't had a lot of time to stream and do other stuff like that. But I really am having a blast with the game, even when I'm not streaming it. Now, the real question is that if now was a good time for you to jump in, and if I may be so bold, I think now's a great time. 3 main reasons. I think it's worth trying, even if it's your first time with the game. I think that it is a fun game. I think that if games like Marvel Rivals appealed to you, if Apex Legends appealed to you, if Deadlock appealed to you, I think that this is a game that you could have a lot of fun with. I would start with playing against the bots, especially if you're if you identify with any communities that tend to get harassed when playing video games. Start with playing bots. It's in the practice version, and it's going to be you and some human players against some bots controlled by Blizzard, and it's a great way to start like getting your feet wet in the game. And that side of the community is really wholesome. A lot of the people that you might hear on stream with me have a lot of hours synced into bots when they didn't like playing the main game. So play with bots, turn your team chat, turn your group chat off. Don't join voice queue when you start playing with and against other people, but start with bots. It's a great time. I think if you left, I think now's a great time to come back. If you left because you were a 6v6 diehard, there is the 6v6 modes that are back. It's not complete open queue, but I think you'd have a good time. I think the balance philosophy is in a healthier spot. I think the characters being introduced are in healthier spots. I think perks are a really good addition that you're going to really jive with. Excuse me. Editor Maddie will cut that out. I think that perks are an awesome introduction to the game, an awesome addition that I think is worth coming back and trying. And I think Stadium could be really worth your time. So whether it's your first time or whether you'd be coming back, I think that now is a good time to come back, and I think you should. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk and my really scuffed green screen. Don't worry about it. It's like all in software. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the YouTube comments. Or if you're here live, go ahead and post them now. Thank you so much for watching. If this was good, thank you. Please tell me if you have seen my other stuff and you like this more than my usual like highlights. I've got good news. I'm trying to turn little stream segments like this into videos that I can post like every month or so, rather than just game replays. So having a little bit of diversified content. But this channel isn't monetized yet, so all of this I'm doing completely for free. So we gotta like min-max. We gotta optimize just a little bit. The opportunity cost of like putting your heart and soul into something when there's zero money that comes back from it is it's a little tough in this economy. So thank you so much for watching. Do the liking and the subscribing and other YouTuber things. Thank you.